Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The European Court of Justice said on Wednesday that it had ordered Poland to pay a penalty of €1 million per day for not suspending the Disciplinary Chamber of the Supreme Court.
Poland has been embroiled in a long-running dispute with Brussels over judicial reforms which the European Union and critics say undermine the independence of courts. ECJ Vice President orders Poland to pay a daily fine of €1 million for not suspending national legislation relating, in particular, to the jurisdiction of the Disciplinary Chamber of the Supreme Court, #rule of law. The row heated up in July when the European Court of Justice ordered the country to suspend the Disciplinary Chamber. Poland has said it will abolish the chamber as part of broader reforms, but has not yet presented detailed plans. Deputy Minister of Justice Sebastian Kaleta said the demand was usurpation and blackmail in comments posted on Twitter. The ECJ completely disregards and ignores the Polish constitution and the judgments of the Constitutional Tribunal. It operates outside its competences and abuses the institution of financial penalties and interim measures. This is the next stage of the operation to detach Poland's influence on the organisation of our state. It is usurpation and blackmail. The Disciplinary Chamber, which critics say is politicised, has already suspended and removed the prosecution of some judges critical of the government's reforms. The member states manage their justice systems as they see fit. This is laid down in the European treaties, and the Court of Justice of the European Union has no right to interfere in whether or not we have a Supreme Court disciplinary chamber and how it functions. That is not within their remit at all, much less do they have the right to punish us. This fine is a blatant infringement of the law by the Court of Justice of the European Union, which is obsessed with Poland and which is an arm of the politicians from Berlin and Brussels. This has nothing to do with the content of the European treaties, and talking about the rule of law is a satire of truth and democracy. We must oppose this. These fines must not be paid.
The Senate has passed a government bill to enable the construction of a security system on the Polish-Belarusian border. The 180 kilometres of physical and electronic fortifications are to cost 1,600,000,000 zloty. The opposition criticised the high cost, but some senators still supported the bill. This is one of the few bills which has had bipartisan support.
Maciej Wąsik, the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, justified the need for fast-tracking the bill and answered questions from senators. Our decisions must be quick and adequate to the situation. We are aware that we have an unstable dictator on our eastern border, whose decisions can change within a few days. Vladimir Putin is behind all that. Senators from the Civic Coalition expressed reservations about the project. They point out the omission of a tender in this construction and the lack of transparency of the design of the barrier. Some of them want to make the case international. We should hit Lukashenko, not these unfortunate people. We have the opportunity to block trading goods with what is now Belarus, and that will be effective, not building a wall. Today, there are no specific rules. The law on public procurement is excluded. In local government, if you want to spend 10,000 zloty, you have to observe certain rules, and there are no rules here. Yesterday, the Senate Committees for Human Rights, the Rule of Law and Petitions, and local self-government and state administration supported the bill. Law and Justice wants a bill to be passed without amendments. For us, it is not controversial. We have to defend Poles from any threats, and at the moment, such a threat are refugees, who are being pushed in and out of Belarus. The People's Party supports the construction of the wall. However, it does not exclude making amendments to the bill. This may happen, but they will certainly not be amendments to bring down this investment. On Tuesday, the Deputy Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczyński and the Minister of National Defence Mariusz Błaszczak presented the assumptions behind the bill on the defence of the homeland. It assumes increasing the capabilities of the armed forces and simplifying legal norm. A new type of armed forces is to be created, the cyber defence forces. A number of proposals which are to increase the possibility of financing purchases for the needs of the armed forces. Well, there are a lot of these elements, so I'm convinced that this will be a breakthrough law. It is good that finally an attempt will be made to normalise the issue of the functioning of the army, points out Professor Romuald Szeremietiew, former head of the Ministry of Defence. I would say that this law is 30 years late, because it should have been done at the beginning, and in the meantime, for 30 years, the armed forces functioned according to the law that was inherited from the People's Republic of Poland. The bill on the construction of the barrier is under an urgent procedure. The Senate has time only until tomorrow.
The working meeting between Polish President Andrzej Duda and French President Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace in Paris lasted 2 hours. According to the advisers of the head of state, it was an important moment in the dialogue between the two countries.
French President Emmanuel Macron met Polish President Andrzej Duda at the Élysée Palace on Wednesday to discuss the issue of European laws. The talks also concerned Polish-French cooperation in economic issues, including energy, security policy, as well as cooperation between the two countries within the European Union and protection of the European Union border. The head of the President's International Policy Office, Jakub Komach, has said that the meeting is to set cooperation in the European Union. The aim is to break through because we realise that there is no place in the European Union for new iron curtains. Both Poland and France are committed to the European process, from different starting points, of course. However, both countries want to create a strong union in which such divisions will be a thing of the past. This resounded clearly at this meeting, said Komach. Earlier this month, Poland's Constitutional Tribunal ruled that parts of the European Union treaties were incompatible with its constitution. Macron had said last week that Europe was waiting for concrete gestures from Poland to end the current spat with the European Union over the independence of the Polish judiciary.
The Ministry of Health today reported 8,361 new cases of coronavirus in Poland. A further 133 patients have died due to COVID-19. The Health Minister is calling for the wearing of masks at cemeteries, which will be particularly crowded this weekend as families mark the All Saints celebration. Experts say that current restrictions are simply not enough. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.